I have no, and then on the other side of the spectrum, Josh Martinez, right? Like, I have no beef against Josh Martinez, but it's kind of like he's had enough times to prove himself on the challenge, and he has not. And in my opinion, he drags us all down and makes us all look bad. And I don't really think that he deserves a spot any longer. I think that he's had his shot and he needs to be replaced with somebody else. So those are the two extremes of it all.
I had my brush here. You had one of the most iconic moments, I would say, in tribunal history when you were talking to Josh.
Obviously going to be against each other, and it's always going to be you versus me. I just want to know where your head's at moving forward with us. So do you want to say anything? Do you want to give us some clarity?
Now, you want to make this a Wes and Josh thing.
I don't.
I will never come for you. It will never be a thing.
And Josh was telling you, like, hey, are we going to keep going after each other? And you had the straightest face, and you were like, no, Josh, this is not a thing. Why would I be trying to get rid of the worst player here?
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of some Art of War type of stuff. I want to know, was that strategy for you, or did you legitimately feel like you are no threat to me and you looked how you felt?
I mean, that was all real. And I saw the comedy in that, but that was actually a very challenging one, in like from a producing a scene, if you will, standpoint, because, a comedian needs feedback from others and an audience and all this kind of stuff to build on it, to know if it's working. And this was, and the way that works is the audience is y'all. And so I don't get that feedback until way later. Sometimes you get snickers from the production, but they are quiet. Then sometimes
definitely
like Jenny did.
Jenny and Swaggy were smiling.
They were, and that was helpful, but you never really know, like, if the cameras and the audio are picking up, if that level of comedy is translating. And it did, and it is funny, and the way that they edited it was very well documented. But I kind of looked at it as one of those, this is actually a long shot of if it makes it, because it's elevated humor. You have to understand all of the context for that to be funny. Like, it would be hard for someone that comes in off the street that knows nothing to get that joke. And so and it's one of those ones where I didn't actually even think that it was going to make the cut. And so then when it finally did, I thought it was funny, but I didn't know if the audience was going to pick up on it. And the fact that it is now kind of turned in, it's a cult classic level of comedy at this point. And I love that for me, not for him. It burns Josh alive. Because like he's the victim of some of the most elevated comedy at him in the history of the show. Between that and then Devin's 7 times 8 or whatever he said.
Yeah, 8 times 9.
What's 8 times 9? Between those two things, this man has been just buried. And he does not have one example where he's done that to somebody else. Like, he doesn't have that like ammunition in him. And so if either one of those things had ever happened to me, I would be done and off the show. And it's happened to him twice. So it is, I don't know, poor guy.